Hello travelers! Today we're diving straight into Ineffa, the newest 5-star Electro polearm user in Genshin Impact, who's not just another sub-DPS. With a brand new elemental reaction, strong team synergy, and durable shields, Ineffa is shaking up the Electro meta. So let's break down everything from her kit and weapons to team comps and why she could redefine how Electro functions in Genshin. To begin with, her abilities center on her elemental skill, Cleaning Mode, Carrier Frequency, which summons Birgitta, a mechanical companion that applies off-field Electro and creates a powerful attack-scaling shield. And when she uses her burst, Supreme Instruction, Cyclonic Exterminator, it refreshes Birgitta's duration and boosts your entire team's elemental mastery based on Ineffa's attack stat. What makes her really unique, as most of us know already, is her new upgraded Lunar Charged reaction that deals 40% more damage, can crit, and increases her shield uptime with every trigger. And when you see her in action, Birgitta is constantly zapping enemies while the shield soaks up damage. It's tanky and dangerous, whether Ineffa is on or off the field. For talents, you'll want to prioritize her skill first, then burst, and finally her normal attacks since most of her strength comes from reactions, not raw hits. As for weapons, her best in slot is Fractured Halo, offering a high base attack, plus 66.2% crit damage, and a passive that boosts both her attack and team-wide Lunar Charged damage when she generates a shield. But if you haven't pulled it, don't worry. Alternatives like Staff of the Scarlet Sands, Calamity Queller, or Symphonist of Sense still provide high crit or elemental mastery stats that work great with her kit. And for free-to-play players, spears like Deathmatch, Ballad of the Fjords, and Missive Windspear also suit her off-field role perfectly. Meanwhile, when it comes to artifacts, Ineffa thrives with a mix of attack percent and elemental mastery, both of which scale her shields and her new reaction. Ideally, go with the 4-piece Gilded Dreams set. It gives elemental mastery and flexes to either extra elemental mastery or attack, depending on your team's elements. However, if you want to boost her shield strength and team support, 4-piece Tenacity of the Millelith is great too. And until Krai brings more specialized sets, mixing 2-piece attack percent and 2-piece elemental mastery or Gilded plus Tenacity is totally viable. For main stats, prioritize attack percent or elemental mastery on both Sands and Goblet and crit rate or crit damage on Circlet. For substats, focus on crit, attack percent, elemental mastery, and finally prioritize energy recharge if required. Now, let's talk about how to actually play her. A solid rotation would be skill, then burst, then switch to your main DPS. And with Hydro support active, Birgitta will trigger Lunar Charged repeatedly while off-field, giving you constant shield refreshes and keeping her burst up more often. That's because Lunar Charged happens when Electro and Hydro meet within her aura, and unlike Electro Charged, this version can crit and scales off elemental mastery, making it far more potent for damage and shield uptime. Now for her teams, Ineffa has some great synergy options. For instance, a Millelith hypercarry comp with Ineffa, Kazuha, or Xylonen and Furina makes for explosive Lunar Charged damage, as elemental mastery and Hydro buffs stack beautifully. Or, if you're aiming for an off-field Electro setup like a Taser team, pairing Ineffa with Clarenda, plus Furina and Auroron, gives you steady reactions even without top-tier investment. She also fits well in Quicken/Hyperbloom comps with Clarenda as DPS, alongside Nahida and Xylonen, so you get both Dendro-related reactions and Lunar Charged off-field from Ineffa. Reddit even suggests Furina, Ineffa, Raiden as a solid Tier 2 core if you're missing Neuvillette and co. Of course, Constellations elevate her even more. At C1, she gains a second skill charge, plus 25% Birgitta damage and 15% shield strength, which boosts both her uptime and durability. Then, C2 adds AoE Electro after her burst and gives your team a shield, making her even better in AoE fights. C3 boosts her skill level for stronger shields, and C4 generates energy from Lunar Charged reactions, though that's sometimes unnecessary if you're running energy recharge supports. C5 extends her burst and elemental mastery buff duration, but the real game changer is C6. This unlocks bonus AoE Lunar Charged triggers every few seconds while off-field, stacking extra damage and empowering team reactions significantly. Overall, her constellations are built for reaction-heavy teams, especially ones that rely on off-field reaction damage. Ineffa isn't just another Electro unit. She reshapes the meta with Lunar Charged, a mechanic that lets her take on an extremely versatile role as support, sub-DPS, and reaction driver all at once. Her consistent off-field damage brings burst potential to teams that lacked it, while her flexible builds, attack-heavy or EM hybrid, make her viable in Hyperbloom, Quicken, Vaporize, or Overload comps. With shielding and passive buffs, Ineffa adds stability, making her perfect for low-investment teams or high-efficiency farming rotations. So that wraps up our full Ineffa guide, covering everything from her kit to meta impact. If you want a dedicated video on Spiral Abyss teams or F2P builds using her, don't hesitate to let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth Genshin guides, and see you in the next one.